Welcome in, everybody, to Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel, Season 3, Week 10. You would think at this point, a lot of teams would be a lot further along than they really are. But surprisingly, some teams just aren't. But the one team that is, got to show love to them each and every week. Our girl, Miss Carrie Johnson, Kansas City Chiefs own, in the building. Carrie, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
I owe you an apology, Carrie. I have to say, I should have listened to you. When a team is undefeated against your Chiefs, I gotta run with it. I was wrong. I admit it. You tried to tell me last Thursday. I didn't listen, so I'm sorry. But but now I have to say this now. You have Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson coming
Mhm.
into Arrowhead to face your team.
Yeah.
So talk to me about this matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, I did some digging on the Jags. First of all, I'm going to tell you that I was really proud of my Chiefs. I did not get nervous on Sunday night. Just going to put that out there. They only allowed one first down in the second half with only 7 positive yards through second half and OT. Just Willis looked like he was on a rat race out there. But so we did really what the defense really did a great job. So interesting stats about the Jags: 99 missed tackles, and they lead the league in missed tackles. They are the fifth most defense that for yards after the catch. So those yak yards where we have 10 or have many at 10 plus. So that was kind of a neat thing. When Lawrence is under pressure, he struggles. Doesn't do very well when if he can't get that ball out in the first 2 seconds. 2.5 seconds is what they said. So that's something that our pass rush is working on, and we won't have the shark, but we do have Jones out there, and he's very intimidating. 25% of their offense is on the shoulders of Etienne. That's who we're going to be covering. Jags do lead the NFL in first downs. They are tied with the Chiefs with 121 plays that are 10 plus yards. Pretty cool stat. In the red zone, though, here's where we're going to be able to come out on top. 53% rate of touchdown in the red zone for the Jags. The Chiefs have 74%. So it's that being able to complete in the red zone that's going to be our saving grace there. I do have to say this is kind of a special game because we'll be going up against Alex's Jags, and that's kind of neat for me to talk about today.
It is a team that he covered, and as much as he loved all of football, the fact that got the chance to be in the press box and cover that team, it's going to be probably an emotional moment for all of us here at Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. Carrie Johnson, Kansas City Chiefs, thank you so much. I'm going to see you next week.
Good luck to your Eagles. See you next week.
Thank you. So normally I would stick in the NFC West, but I got a young lady here who her game is coming up, and she is doing me a solid by jumping on early. Jen Lewis.
What up, Eric? How are
I know you're
you?
pressed for time. Thank you so much. Thursday night matchup. You're Carolina Panthers. Talking about the Falcons. You're up, Jen.
All right, so we're going to be playing mad. Plus, our defense is still better than their defense. We kind of had, a game-winning field goal taken away from us. Hashtag just saying. Jalen Ramsey didn't have the same penalty thrown on him that DJ Moore had. However, DJ will keep his helmet on tonight when he catches another 63.5-yard game-winning touchdown pass. That being said, our defense is much better than theirs, even though we have several players out. They're missing a couple of their defensive line too. I think they're missing 2 of their cornerbacks and 1 safety. And we'll just be up there and kicking butt and taking names. And sorry, I don't have much more to give you tonight. My head's a little foggy.
Listen, I totally get it. You're focused, you're concentrated, you're dialed in. Jen Lewis, keep pounding. I'm going to holler at you next week.
Thank you. See you later, Eric. Bye.
Bye. All right, let me get my man in here because, again, I always got to ask the question, how is it that the Denver Broncos are still being talked about? Still. Under review with my man Jordan Long in the building. Jordan, Denver, man. I'm just going to turn it over to you, my brother, and simply ask the question. You're facing the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. You know they're upset because of the overtime loss that happened to them. So how is Denver going to go 4-5 this week?
Well, if you look at it, we're coming off of our bye, so that is a nice thing. But the thing is what we did against Jacksonville and London, we simplified the offense. Basically, what the announcer says, it was high school offense, which made it easier on Russell Wilson to throw the football and find his receivers. Plus, the offensive line did a great job of protecting Russell Wilson, which gave him time to actually throw the football and find his receivers. Of course, Latavius Murray, the running back, that created holes for him. The thing is, though, the big key for us is to get Greg Dulcich, our rookie tight end, involved in the offense. We did that in Jacksonville. That created mismatches. If we do that, he's going to be open, and that's really going to torch this Titans defense. Although offensively, though, when we drive into the red zone, and it's been a thing that I've said on this show many, many times, you have to score in the red zone. A field goal is okay. We want touchdowns. Looking at the Titans, though, it doesn't matter if their quarterback is Ryan Tannehill or Malik Willis. I know Tannehill has practice, but it doesn't matter. They're a running football team. So we have to stop Derrick Henry. The thing is, though, Derrick Henry averages, 100 yards per game, but as a team for the Titans, they average 142.3 rushing yards per game. We have to stop the run, force them to be a passing team. Of course, they only completed 5 passes last week. So if we can force them to do that, we should be able to stay in this football game.
My hope is that this game is competitive, but I'm going to tell you right now, if they let Derrick Henry loose on y'all's defense, he going to put up 160 easy.
Or 170, 180. I mean,
and 2 touchdowns.
Exactly. I agree with you.
Under review with Jordan Long, my brother. Thank you so much. I'm going to holler at you next week, sir.
Sounds good. Thank you, Eric.
All right, so let me keep it moving here. I got to talk to my brother because he actually got another win. Phil Jones. What's up, man? How you doing?
Not much.
As we say at the cookout, how your mama and them doing?
Hey, doing good. Hey, doing all right.
I just need to ask you something really quick. Because I know you saw the news that happened earlier this week. Frank Reich got fired, and Jeff Saturday bought the golden ticket to become the new interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And his first assignment is to play your Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. So, Phil, how does Josh McDaniels, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, and Josh Jacobs, and your entire team beat Sam Ehlinger, Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, Michael Pittman Jr., and the interim head coach, Jeff Saturday?
Oh, man. I don't even know where to begin. My team, they're in a hot mess. They're gonna make Jeff Saturday probably look like the greatest interim head coach for the Colts organization ever around. They're like, oh my God, this is the greatest idea we had. We brought in Jeff Saturday. He was just an analyst and a high school football coach. You ain't got no Waller. You don't have no Renfro. Your linebacker just retired. But, I mean, then again, I don't think he was 100% coming back into the game. Raiders are in a ugly situation. And then you also have Gus Bradley, the defensive coordinator. That was a former Raider defensive coordinator. And then you have
Yep.
so this is going to be
we got you. Keep
up
going.
to us. It's going to be ugly for us. I'm sorry. I actually think we're going to end up losing this one. And just people just come like, damn, what is going on in Vegas?
Wow.
Crapshoot.
Wow. Okay.
Snake eyes.
Listen, he always gives us the unfiltered truth, whether we like it or not. This is my man, Phil Jones, in the building. So, all right,
You know,
Phil.
I hate saying it. I really do. I hope, you know what? I really do hope I'm wrong this weekend. Because if I'm wrong, we can breathe. But if I'm right, it's going to be like the Rebels versus the Empire. And you know how that ended.
Yeah, I do. Phil Jones, the unfiltered truth. My brother, thank you so much. I'm going to holler at you.
All right, y'all
man.
take care. Love you guys.
All right. Let me get my man Trey in the building because his team is heading over to Germany, if they're not already there, which I'm pretty sure they are. Trey, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Yeah, we're here in Germany, man.
So talk to me, man. You facing the Bucks. The Bucks finally got a win, but it's overseas. We don't know what to expect when teams go over to the other side of the country. You're 6-3. You're facing the GOAT. Talk to me about it, brother.
So nothing that we haven't seen has already been happening. We've seen clearly that Tom Brady has clearly been going through it a lot. We have to definitely put pressure on him, just like always, because whenever not a lot of people can handle when pressure's right in their face. So we're gonna definitely have to keep it up. We definitely gotta keep it going with Nwosu and Cody Barton and such. This Tampa Bay team is not a team to be slept on. There's a lot that's going on. You got Tom Brady, still Tom Brady. They still have Leonard Fournette. They still have Mike Evans. They still have Chris Godwin. Doesn't matter how beaten up they are, they're still present, and we have to acknowledge as such. This is a big time area. Germany moving overseas, so hopefully we keep that same motivation. Let Geno cook, let Geno be Geno, and let Kenneth be Kenneth. Because when it comes down to it, Kenneth, Geno, and whenever you put up a defensive game and defense wins championships, the offense will produce, and that will cause pressure, and it will cause pressure for the Buccaneers, and it will result in a win. So not as nervous as I was, say, last year or a few weeks ago, but definitely just got to take care of business, man. I mean, there's no other way to say it. We're in Germany. It's a lot on the line.
All righty, sir. I wish you the best of luck, man. But see, Tom got that spark in him. He got that little twinkle in his eye when he was hopping up to that press conference. So we'll see how it transpires over in Germany this Sunday.
Me personally, don't at me, but I don't think that same twinkle and that same sparkle in his eye is going to be there next week. I think it's going to be beaten up. It's going to be bruised. I'm just saying.
All right. We'll see. My brother, thank you so much. I'm going to holler at you.
Yes.
All right. So, as I do, let's keep the show going here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it moving here on Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel, Season 3, Week 10. You know, I got to get this brother in here because his team is actually starting to, still be mediocre. They're 3-6. But then again, they're facing the 3-5 Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. So I really don't know what to make of this. Let me get Arizona Cardinals rep Mike Tenuto's in the building. Mike, you're heading to Los Angeles. You're playing the defending champs who are looking that great. Talk to me about this matchup, brother.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams, well, this is two offenses, Eric. It's crazy because the Rams are 31st in yards gained. Now, coming off a Super Bowl, and yeah, we know Odell Beckham Jr. isn't there, but you get a guy like Allen Robinson, and obviously you still have Cooper Kupp. Yes, the running game probably not where Sean McVay wants it, but man, Eric, it's one of those things that's crazy because the Rams are 31st in offense. Cardinals fans are going nuts about Kyler Murray because they're 17th. And I mean, that's a whole other thing because now his hamstring, they don't know if he's going to be able to go. He's limited in practice today. He was out there. Media did see him out on the field doing some individual stuff when media is allowed to view. So that's a good sign. I mean, Kyler Murray's getting a lot of heat. Cliff Kingsbury getting, a lot of heat for not making adjustments and all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's two teams, Eric, where going into the season, you figure this time of year, and more so maybe even for the Rams, but the Cardinals always getting off the hot starts. You figure people actually care about this game. And I mean, these two teams do, because if you win it, the crazy thing is you're still right there in the division, but the 31st offense and the 17th offense, and the Cardinals have the higher ranked one. It's crazy, Eric. It's madness.
Listen, time will tell, and we shall see, my brother. Listen, as I always say, just make it entertaining for us. But it is going to be, because no matter who wins and who loses, they're still vying for a potential wild card spot, given where all the teams are within the NFC. So, Mike Carousel, believe in the Pac-12. My brother, Forks Up, ASU, baby. I'm going to holler at you next week, sir. See ya.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So with that being said, let me transfer over to the AFC, NFC East, the two best divisions in all of the NFL. And of course, I got to start with this man who is clearly the president of the Tua Tagovailoa for MVP fan club, Blue Hawks 13, my man, Jon Shearer.
What up?
What's up, John?
So for MVP, man.
Hey, John, I want to say something to you really quick. Carrie Johnson brought up something. She said, Kansas City's playing Jacksonville. Our brother Alex covered Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
You know which team you're facing, right?
Yeah.
The one team he said was irrelevant. So Jon Shearer, what has to happen this Sunday, correct?
Oh, we got to stomp the Browns. There's no doubt about it.
All right. So I just wanted to make sure that I prefaced the comment so you understood. But talk to me about this matchup, sir.
Of course. I mean, we've got to stop Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Well, mainly Nick Chubb, because Kareem Hunt really doesn't get the ball. I'm not really worried about Amari Cooper. David Njoku doesn't sound like he's going to play. Jacoby Brissett, I said at the beginning of the year, he's not a good quarterback, and we're going to prove that. The pass rush will get to him. As long as you stop Nick Chubb, which, I mean, nobody really has been able to do, but the Dolphins are one of the best teams in the league against the run, against running backs. Against running quarterbacks, they can't stop, nosebleed, but against running backs, I mean, they held them to under 4 yards a carry. So I know it's Nick Chubb, but the Dolphins can stop. They've stopped every running back. They've held everybody under 100 yards, every running back this year. Nobody's hit 100 yards. So I love Nick Chubb. I'm on my fantasy team, but I just don't see Nick Chubb having a big day, maybe like 80 yards and a touchdown at most. But the Dolphins don't give up 100 yards. And unless the Browns can control the clock and dominate with the running game, which I don't see them doing, the Dolphins are going to get the ball out fast on offense, slow down Myles Garrett, and the Browns just don't have the weapons to stop Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Most of the defensive coverages this year against Tua have been zone, because nobody can play man against the Dolphins, because when you play man, you already know what happens. You try and play man against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, like, you're just asking to give up a touchdown. So nobody plays man. And then Tua's smart enough to just be able to pick zone defenses apart. And that's why Miami's so unstoppable.
All right. Jon Shearer, again, you do realize that should Cleveland find a way to beat your Dolphins this Sunday, John?
No chance.
I'm just saying, any given Sunday, my brother.
No
I'm
chance.
rooting for you. You know I'm rooting for you.
Oh, thank you. Finally, somebody on the sports arena is.
Well, normally I don't. But again, it's Cleveland. So, and even though
you have a bye week this week, so.
What do you mean I have a bye week?
You're facing Washington.
I have the Monday night, yes, and I'm going to get to that in just a moment.
Yeah.
My man, Blue Hawks 13, my brother Jon Shearer. I love you, man. I'm holla at you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
So now let's get to the best division in the entire NFL, the NFC Beast. That's right, with a B, people. Like the Powerball was with the billion. That's who we are, okay? Let me go ahead and get the second place New York Football Giants own Jake Malik in the building, and my opponent this Monday night, the couch coach. Someone is missing, but that's on her, because we ain't going to talk about them. They got to do their own thing. But, gentlemen, it is good to see you. Jake, my brother, you had off last week. You had time to kind of put a little more tread back on Saquon's tires and let Brian Dable and Daniel Jones figure out some more schemes and get your defense ready. Talk to me about your matchup this week, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you hit on the important thing for me, which was Saquon got some time to rest. My man has been putting the team on his back. I think he's earned his right to relax a little bit. The one thing that I have to get this out of the way, Xavier McKinney is going to be out a couple weeks now, and I am not happy about it. He was in Cabo, which is totally fine by me. Man, hey, enjoy your bye week. But he was riding ATVs, and I believe he broke his hand. And come on, man. I mean, what are you doing? If we were 2-6 and you break your hand, okay, we're 6-2. You can't be doing that. But anyway, on to this week's matchup. I feel like I'm repeating myself, and it's probably because I am, because the Giants are a very simple team when you break them down. They got a strong defense, and Saquon Barkley is an absolute monster on the field, and that's it. Our quarterback situation's okay. Offensive line has been better, but those are the two key components. And this week, it's the same issue every week. The run game is our biggest concern on defense, and when you play against Houston, that's all they've got. It's without Dameon Pierce and without that run game, they are a one-dimensional, basically non-existent team. So we got to stop.
Hold on,
Pierce.
I don't mean to interrupt you, sir, but she decided to
because
grace
Megan
us
decided to
with
show
her
up.
presence. So allow me to officially introduce the queen.
Of course.
Yeah, she had to come in.
Y'all know I wear it, Greg.
Cowboys fans got to mess up a Giants fan. That's fine. Let's see how it is.
No, she just had to make her presence known. That's all she had
Sorry
to do.
about that.
But go ahead and finish, sir, and then we will get to Miss Megan Price. Go ahead,
Yes, sir. Yeah, look, Dameon Pierce has been probably the best rookie all season, and arguably one of the best running backs in all of football. So you got to stop him. If you stop Dameon Pierce, the Texans will not touch us. It will not even be close because the Giants' passing game, while not great, is at least acceptable that they'll score points. And more importantly, like I said, Saquon Barkley gets his rest. He'll be great. The Texans' offense is, like I said, it's all one guy. The Giants are similar, but we have enough passing to make it work. And that Texans defense, there's one good defense in Texas, and that person is sitting to my right now. It is not the Texans. The Texans defense stinks. They are awful. I am not in any way scared of them.
What bothers me right now is the fact that, we do our shameless plug, Sports Arena Weekly Pick'ems. And what do I always say? Two teams I pick every week. Whoever is playing against Dallas and my Philadelphia Eagles. And Jake, Megan, Couch Coach, can I say for the first time this season, I am hard-pressed to have to go against Dallas because of who they're playing. It pains me, but I have to remain true to who I am. But Megan, Dallas Cowboys,
I mean,
who are now, by the way, you are now on the please OBJ come to Dallas.
Please don't.
Please,
on behalf of the rest of the NFC East, please don't do that.
I'd rather him go home back to New York. But Megan, you're facing Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau.
I agree. I agree. I think the right move for Odell is to go back to New York. Don't get me wrong. But as a Cowboys fan, I absolutely feel like we can utilize him. Now, our receiver core is pretty depleted. We do have Brown coming back. So we have a couple of people coming back this week, and I'm interested to see what our offense looks like. I think our defense is going to be great. Now, as far as our pass defense is going to be great. Now, our rush defense is not that great. So we're 22nd in the league with our rush defense. So I think that's going to be a problem area for us. But I think Aaron Rodgers knows for a fact, he's coming up against a defense that has 4+ players that have 4+ players that have 4+ sacks. So it's definitely going to be a tough day for Aaron Rodgers. Do I think that he's still going to be able to put up some big numbers? Yeah, because even with 3 interceptions, he had 291 yards against Detroit. So I do think that, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I do think that he's going to be able to make some movement on us. But I think what's going to be most important is us being able to get our offense rolling early, because time and time again, we've seen Green Bay send us home with an L. And I think that that's having to do with coming back from a come behind win. If we're able to do that at all, we cannot get down early. We have to stay up above, because leave it to Aaron Rodgers to have a comeback game against Dallas. I could see it happening.
Please
Stop it.
Please.
Eric, I think we're all rooting for that to happen.
Well, before we talk, after that matchup, I have to focus on my opponent, which is my gentleman right over here to my left. Sir, I'm going to start asking the question of all my opponents that was asked back in 2007 when the Patriots went on their run. Couch Coach, is this the week that the Washington Commanders, led by Tyler Heineke, beat the Philadelphia Eagles? And if so, sir, how does this happen?
You know what? It's going to happen. The 72 Dolphins, we'll give you a favor. So I think the key, essentially what's going to happen in this game, I think we have to have the running game. It's got to be very effective. Obviously, you've seen, obviously last week against Damian Pierce had a great game. So I'm seeing our running back committee could have that same success. Taylor Heineke cannot throw any interceptions. He has to play damn near perfect football. He can't turn that football over. We got to have to score some more points because 17 points is not going to cut it. We've skated away in those 3 wins. And I definitely think, and I look at even in that week 3 matchup, we only really got beat by 2 big plays. So to me, if we can kind of tighten that up, we got a legitimate shot. So I definitely think those are kind of the keys for Washington to win. And I think we'll definitely get pressure to Hurts. So I definitely think Washington has a shot. And this is not just because of irrational confidence. I believe this.
Okay. and listen, like I have said all season long, okay? Be consistent, beat the Cowboys. Those are my only 2 rules this season with regard to the Philadelphia Eagles. My only 2 rules. That's it. But right now, this team, led by Jalen Hurts, understands this ain't about going undefeated. We understand what the bigger and more priority of a accomplishment is, and that is bringing a second Super Bowl championship to the city of Philadelphia in 5 years. Okay? That is what our mental focus is. We're not sleeping on anybody. I know some people may have thought that we slept on Houston because it was a short week. Thursday night, Jalen was home. Jalen was going to do whatever he had to do to get that victory back home. All right? So now we're back. We're back at Lincoln Financial. It's Monday Night Football. And you know what? I was going back and I was watching some of the old Monday Night Football matchups between your Washington team and my Philadelphia team. And you know the one that stands out to me more than anything? It's the one where Michael Vick was our quarterback. And we put up 50 on Washington in FedEx Field. Now, I don't expect that to happen. Your defense is better. I like Tyler Heineke. And you're absolutely right. If we, not when I say we, the Philadelphia Eagle defense can stop your run game, Terry McLaurin's going to get ate up. I'm not sweating him. I know Scary Terry's good for probably about 4 or 5 receptions. He might get a touchdown. He might get about 100, maybe between 90 and 100 yards. I know what he is. But that run game is the thing that has been a detriment to us. What I will say to you, though, is this. It is home. We are Monday night, and you know the second quarter, if we start turning it up and putting our foot on the gas, it's going to be a long second half for y'all. That's all I'm going to say.
Don't let him talk to y'all like that. Don't let him talk to you like that. Don't let him talk to you like that. We put 50 up on Philly last year. We put 50 up on Philly last year, too. Don't let him talk to you like that.
The game that didn't matter, Megan. The game didn't matter.
Oh, well, 50 up 50 pieces a 50 piece.
Eric, every game matters because you know what? Megan gets bragging rights right now. That's why it matters.
What does she get bragging rights for?
That she beat you. She can say, my team beat yours.
That was last year.
It was last year. It was last
At the moment, it mattered.
It was a 50 piece. I'm just saying, don't let him talk to you like that, couch coach.
Jake, what did they do this year on Sunday Night Football?
I didn't say she got bragging rights this year. I said she had bragging rights. She has them.
I mean, you brought up 50 points. You brought up the 50 points. I just wanted to chime in. If you would have let the 50 points out, I would have been quiet.
Listen,
she's got a point.
I got love for the 3 of you on this screen, but I'm gonna see all y'all next week because guess what? All y'all got to go. Goodbye. Okay. Good Lord. Try and have a decent conversation with people. This is where it goes. Let's keep it moving here on Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel, Season 3, Week 10. My brother, who is joining me, and I know he's getting ready for this matchup, Thursday night matchup. His Atlanta Falcons are in Carolina. Joe.
What's up, Eric?
Talk to me, brother. Thursday night matchup, man. What's good? What's going on with you?
Well, I mean, we're coming off the loss of the Chargers, which, fun thing, I looked up a miscellaneous stat because you know me, Eric. I'm good for that. The Falcons are 2-9 when Younghoe Koo misses a field goal like he did against the Chargers. And I'm not talking PATs. I'm talking strictly three-point field goals. We're 2-9 in those games. We're not having A.J. Terrell again. We don't have Eric Harris. We shipped Dean Marlowe back to Buffalo. So our defense is still going to be a problem. I'm curious about how P.J. Walker is going to play again after what happened that first game last Sunday, which was insane, still to say the least. When it comes to the Panthers defense, however, it's Brian Burns. I think they got Jeremy Chin back. I think I saw that he's returning today. Henderson's still there. Gilmore's still there. So it's going to be kind of problematic. And again, Atlanta, we know it. They're run first, run second, run third, run fourth, run fifth, run sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Essentially, if you're able to run with the ball, they run with the ball somehow, some way. I do want to see if they can, get Pitts and London involved, maybe even Zacchaeus, maybe a little bit of Damiere Byrd, Cordero Patterson coming back, always a good thing. And again, that angry run, Eric. Woo, boy, he took Drew Tranquil's soul on that run. I loved that. But as for this game, I'm curious about the weather more so than anything else. I think Atlanta's going to win and, get a sweep, but I don't know what's going to happen, Eric.
Fair enough, sir. I know you're getting ready for that game, so I'm going to let you go, my brother. Thank you so much, Joe Carlino. I'm going to holler at you next week, brother.
You got it, brother.
So while I have a moment here, I want to bring my man Jon Shearer back in the building for a moment.
Sure.
John, you have been my AFC East guy this entire season here on Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel.
Yeah.
You and I have talked in the sports arena, especially about the team within your division that is leading at 6-2 right now in the Buffalo Bills. They are facing the 7-1 Minnesota Vikings this week. And just from your perspective, because we know how I feel. Listen, Buffalo is my pick to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year. I said it in preseason. I'm not deterring from it. Even with the news that came down this week about Josh Allen and the UCL in his throwing arm. Give me your thoughts, though, John, with regard to this matchup, because I want to hear from someone who is a little unbiased. I mean, I know Buffalo's in your division, and you want them to lose.
I'll give you.
But
Yeah,
overall,
I mean, you know me. I'll give you a fair assessment. It doesn't matter what team I root for. Yeah, I don't like this game for the Bills if Josh Allen misses it. He didn't practice Wednesday. He didn't practice today. It looks like he's just not going to practice. Like tomorrow's his last chance to practice, and it looks like there's no chance of that. I think he misses this game. I have a weird feeling he misses this game. I feel like it's the only game he ends up missing, but if you look at what the Vikings have faced this year, and this is not to knock the 7-1 record, I don't believe in the Bill Parcells thing. You are what your record says you are because there's more to it than that. But the Vikings have faced backup quarterbacks basically the entire year. Like when they face the Dolphins, who are 6-3. They face Tua / Skylar Thompson. Like they face not Tua, Teddy Bridgewater / Skylar Thompson. But you know what I mean? Like all year they face backup quarterbacks. And like that, I mean, really the Vikings haven't proved much to us. And it kind of feels like they're gonna face another backup quarterback. Like that's what they've done all year. And it's not to knock the Vikings, but I feel like the Vikings end up winning this one. Obviously, if Josh Allen sits out, I just don't see how the Bills can keep up with them. I know they have a good defense, but I just don't see Case Keenum putting up the points. And if you got to turn Devin Singletary, I just don't trust it.
I disagree with you for a couple of reasons. My first reason is Case Keenum was the reason the Minnesota Vikings made it to the NFC Championship game
On a fluke.
the year they faced Philadelphia.
On
Hold
a
on.
fluke play, right? On a
Okay.
miracle fluke play. Like,
Regardless of how it transpired, Case Keenum was the quarterback under center.
yeah, and what Nick Foles was yours when you won the Super Bowl,
Nick
but is he
Foles was
starting
when we won.
quarterback
Exactly.
now? What happened to him after that? Like,
But when you talk about backup quarterbacks, and you're absolutely right, there's something different, not only about the offensive line, but about the team in general. It appears as though when backup quarterbacks come into the starting role, the whole entire team elevates themselves to that next level. Not to say it's a detriment to their backup, but it's like we have to play with that extra bit of grit, that extra bit of tenacity to make our guy, because he's a member of our team, to get him to feel comfortable. And once he feels comfortable, then we can go back to doing what we do. So I like Case Keenum in this matchup. Do
but do
I
you
want
like it
Josh
in a
Allen to sit?
high-scoring game? Like, if it
No.
becomes high-scoring, like 28 points, 24-28, like type of points, I don't like
Yes,
Case
you
Keenum
can't get into
doing
a
that.
shootout. You're right. You're
And
right. You can't get
when
into
you
a
have
shootout.
when you have the guys you've mentioned many times, Justin Jefferson, Thielen, Cook, and even TJ Hawkinson, like, I know the Bills defense is good, but if it gets into the 20s, I just don't see Case Keenum keeping up. And you can't trust the run game. We know Josh Allen accounts for basically every bit of yardage and points that they get is Josh Allen. So, like, I just don't trust Case Keenum.
I heard a very interesting stat today. 22 out of the 25 touchdowns this season for the Buffalo Bills have come courtesy of Josh Allen.
He does a lot for that team, and
So
if
I
he
get it.
misses, I don't see it.
I
And that's
get
not
it.
me
I
being
get it.
biased. It's just
No,
like,
I understand.
I
I
think
just
the
wanted to
Vikings are
talk to
good.
you about
Yeah.
it because, like I said, you cover the AFC. I mean, you cover all the NFL as well as the NBA, MLB, NHL, WNBA. But specifically for this, I wanted to bring you in. But I appreciate you, brother. Much love to you. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm
you
going to
for
holler
having
at
me.
you.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
All right, let's go over to the AFC and NFC North. And I got two guys who want to shed some light about their teams. First up, my man Daniel Buquetago talking about his Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers are back in action as they look to make a second-half turnaround after making the change to the deadline, trading away Chase Claypool for a second-round pick and getting William Jackson III from Washington for a 2025 conditional 7th or 6th rounder. So it will be interesting to see how the Steelers are trying to make a turnaround here in the second half of the season as they're trying to progress more offensively as well. Kenny Pickett, the interceptions have been really high, but at least they've been getting in the red zone the past few weeks, and now they look to convert. They need to convert here in these red zone opportunities because this is the handful, 4 or 5 drives you're going to get the entire game. And we have to convert points because the Steelers' offense haven't been putting points on the scoreboard this season so far. And it would be nice to see the offense take that next step. Even though we traded away Chase Claypool, George Pickens, and Pat Freiermuth are going to get more opportunities to succeed in the offense, in a very, very young offense, with the offensive line trying to improve more, even though they struggled last time out against Philadelphia. I expect the Steelers' offensive line to be better coming off the bye, since the Steelers haven't lost a bye coming off the bye since 2016. And with that, off the bye comes reinforcements as well here for the Steelers as we face the Saints. TJ Watt is coming back. Devontae KZ, who hasn't played all year, is coming back as well. And they look to make more defensive splash plays, make more defensive turnovers, and give the offense the ball. We need the offense to score points, and look for them to succeed this week against Dennis Allen's New Orleans Saints.
Okay, so there you go. So we have another matchup going on this week, and I'm going to do something completely unorthodox here. My man Dom is in the building. Dom, what's going on, brother? How are you? Awesome. So
I'm
going to
good.
give you the opportunity either to go first with regards to your matchup against the Chicago Bears, or our man Eddie has sent me his debate with regard to the Bears. So do you want to see it first and then respond? or do you want to go first and then I'll play you what he said?
Play his.
Okay. This is our man Eddie B. Dub talking about his Chicago Bears going up against my man Dom's Detroit Lions.
Well, Eric, I told you last week the Bears had a really good chance going into this one, and hey, they covered. They should have won. They should have at least taken this game to overtime. I don't want to get into this talk of was it PI, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure everybody with a brain agrees it was pass interference. We're not going to spend any more time on it. Justin Fields had an amazing game. There are people saying that he needs to throw the ball more. But let's face it, he had 28 attempts passing the ball, and at least 2 times he decided he was going to scramble, including a 61-yard touchdown run, his rushing touchdown for the game, in which he amassed 178 total rushing yards. Now, he did run it 15 times. That's a lot. But his play has improved significantly, and that is in no small part due to Chase Claypool. Now, he only caught 2 of 6 targets, but let's face it, he had an immediate impact on this team. Cole Kmet has come to life, and Darnell Mooney is starting to come back to life as well. This does not bode well for the Lions offense or defense. This offense was looking like the best offense in the league. They were looking like the best 1-3 team in the league, and now it's fizzled out. The defense is still one of the worst in the league. I know Dom's going to have a lot to say about this and about how the Lions are going to win this game this week. Or maybe he's going to agree with me and say the Bears are going to take it. I think -3 is kind of light. I honestly think the Bears have a chance of winning by 10. We'll see. Bear down.
Dom, I'm going to give you the floor to respond, sir.
So he made a lot of good points. I actually do have the Bears winning this game. -3 at home is a standard line. It's well documented. My team struggles with mobile quarterbacks. However, the Lions have the 31st or 32nd run defense in the league. Chicago's is also 30. But much like last week, much like I said, Eric, this is a ground and pound, grind it out, 1 possession game. I don't think either team scores more than 21 points. Hopefully we get Kirby Joseph back because clearly, that's NFC Defensive Player of the Week, Kirby Joseph. Hopefully we get him back. Swift looks like he'll be a little bit more healthy, so maybe this time he gets 12 touches instead of 6 or 7. But yeah, ultimately, I don't see us winning this game on the road. Like I said, we struggle with mobile quarterbacks. And I said when I saw the schedule come out that we would get swept by the Bears, but sweep the Packers. And I'm halfway right so far on the Packers. And it is what it is. Plus, it's house money. It's not like we're contending for a playoff spot. So whatever happens, happens.
Okay. Well, you heard from Eddie. You heard from my man Dom. Let's see what happens on Sunday. My brother, best of luck to you when you head to the Midway. I'm going to holler at you, sir. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen. As always, it's going to do it for us here on Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. Season 3, Week 10. Can you believe it? We're 10 weeks into the NFL season. You know what that means? We're over the hump. We on the down slope. Can't believe it's going by so quick, so fast. Shout out to everybody for being a part of this. Really appreciate all the love that has happened and been shown to us all here. This is part of Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. We love y'all. And as we always say, either you on or you off.